Today we read the whole of James chapter 3. The first verse of this chapter has always quite worried me. Having been a teacher before I was ordained, and often having a teaching role in this ministry too, it's quite an alarming warning, but very necessary, I'm sure, and very salutary to acknowledge with James that all of us make many mistakes. He goes on to talk about how difficult it is to control the tongue, and how much damage an uncontrolled tongue can do, despite its small size. How very true. How often we're guilty of spreading, for example, gossip and rumour, not necessarily knowing whether it's true or not, but, oh dear, enjoying the scandal. That's really inexcusable, but so hard to resist. Have you heard the threefold test of what to say and whether to speak? 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? I'm not sure who first thought of that, as it's variously attributed, but it does seem a wise saying, and it would filter out quite a bit of damaging talk. So often it would be better not to speak. I have a lot of respect for the Quakers who are seriously into silence. Not that I could forego the glories of liturgical and musical worship, but the discipline of sitting in silence for an hour and of simply listening if someone does speak must be a very useful one to learn to control the tongue. I came across a beautiful quote from a Quaker about the silence of their meeting, explaining something of the value and importance of silence in worship. Here it is. This gathered worship, as Quakers call it, is not only absence of noise. Gathered worship springs from the reverent, silent expectation that God will come among the people. The silence deepens as we feel ourselves drawn beautifully to God and to each other. Our hearts and souls burst with thanksgiving, a thanksgiving best expressed by silence. Silence growing from awe is the natural human response to hints of the divine. Isn't that wonderful? Perhaps we should have more moments, at least, of silence in our worship. Actually, this is harder than ever now in the era of live streaming, because silence doesn't come across well online. But somehow we need that reverent, silent expectation that God will come among the people. Remember that next time you're sitting in church waiting for the service to begin. And we can all practice this in our own prayers. It's so easy and tempting to fill our prayer time with talk. And Lord, another thing, and oh, do you think you could possibly, and would you remember so and so? This isn't damaging talk, but the danger is it might crowd out whatever reply the Lord could wish to give us. When Gabriel spoke to Mary, did he have to wait, arms folded, foot tapping, until she came to the end of her list of petitions before he could get a word in edgeways? Somehow, I don't think so. I think she would have known about silence and listening. Perhaps that's one reason why the message came to her.